And welcome to Nancy's Neighborhood, folks. And it's good to be back with you. Now, this week is supposed to be a nice, warm week. But I'm going to tell you right now, I was out in it, and it's not. It's trying to decide whether to rain or not. If it's 55 degrees, it sure feels like 45 degrees. And so, anyway, that's what the weatherman is forecasting for us. It's a nice, warm week. So we're going to start it off with some great guests this week, and I'm excited to death to have Dustin Tommy. I've known Dustin since he came to Cleveland. He came in one aspect, kind of, and it veered off into a big aspect. He's with what's now called City Fields.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm so proud of the work he's done over there.
Thank you.
It's the old Blythe-Bower neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to start out by asking, why City Fields?
Yeah, so we used to, formerly known as
Yes.
Impact Cleveland.
Right.
And we changed our name about when we became our own 501c3.
Yes, you did. I'm proud of you for that.
When we figured, as far as branding goes, if we're ever going to do it when we become our own nonprofit with all the filing and stuff, let's do it now instead of get approved with the government and everything, and then 5 years from now say, we wish we would have changed our name.
Yes.
So we did it when we applied to become a nonprofit, but also it represents, we feel like, our mission more closely, because impact is a good word, right? But it kind of insinuates conflict, and
Yes.
when you look it up, it describes like a meteor crashing into Earth, that's pretty intense. And we want to make a great impact, but we don't want to crash into anybody like that.
That is true, and you all have made a tremendous impact. I will say that.
We want to cultivate overlooked places.
Yes.
And fields are places that you cultivate. And
I love it.
also that there's this idea that you people go on the mission field, and to be in the mission field that you're probably overseas somewhere, but really right here in America, right in our backyard, in our cities have fields that need to be cultivated. And so city, fields, it's kind of a paradox.
I like it.
But that's what we chose.
I really do like it. And you've been with us how many years now? 5?
5.
5. Okay, good. That was almost a guess on my
That's
part,
right.
but I was thinking. And when you came in from a similar situation.
Mm-hmm.
So you came to us from
Philadelphia.
I spoke to someone in Philadelphia today,
Really?
and they were expecting 50-degree weather, and they were excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unusual. That's
So,
a little
I know.
warm.
I know. But anyway, so you came to us from Philadelphia, and you had done a lot of the same thing you're doing here.
Mm-hmm. I worked for a nonprofit up there that specialized in housing, and it was at the height of the foreclosure crisis at that point when I started, and I did a master's degree up there at Eastern University and studied community development and this field for 2 years. My master's program took, but I worked at an organization that helped people obtain housing and keep their housing, and it was kind of the way in this field I got my foot in the door, but really I believe that you've got to have a more holistic approach. You can't just fix housing. We did everything in the arena of housing. We helped do financial literacy classes. We helped we helped people get loans to fix their homes. We helped people get grants to fix their homes for free. We did community development work, but we specialized in the realm of housing. And when I came here, I was given the opportunity to really help lead an initiative started by the United Way that would be more holistic and not just one-dimensional. We often say, instead of being a mile wide and an inch deep, we would rather be an inch wide but a mile deep.
Wow. Yes. And this is what you've done over in what everyone who's been in Cleveland for any length of time, and I'm not a native, but I know now but it's the Blythe-Bower neighborhood, and that area over behind
Whirlpool.
the old Whirlpool.
Yep.
Yes.
And what I have heard from being here and pretty heavily invested in that area for 5 years is if you grew up here and were here before 1980, roughly, you called it Oldfield.
Oh,
that was
okay.
that was what people called it way back when. And there's a little bit of confusion about that story, but the most authoritative story that anybody's ever told me was Mayor Tom Rowland.
And that would be
And he said that he spoke with a historian who said that there was a Chief Oldfield here from pre-Civil War days, and that's where it really got its name. But at one time, it was just an old field.
Okay.
And the Gallagher family, they tell a cool story about. They're gonna get me for this, but they said a great grandfather lost a big chunk of his farmland in a poker game, and it was the Oldfield.
Oh.
And their home, their homestead, was the oldest property that. Our neighborhood, Blythe Oldfield, has about 600 homes.
Wow.
And that home, the Gallagher's place, is the oldest. It's from the 1860s.
Oh, wow.
I believe.
Okay. Ooh, Civil War time. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I want you to tell people some of the things that you're doing. I know from United Way you got a massive TVA grant to go in. You've also gotten some other grants. You've worked with the neighborhoods. You've got a playground. So start somewhere and tell people what's happening.
Sure. Well, the what really put us on the map was we got a $4.7 million grant to do energy home improvements. And we did 413 deep energy retrofits, is what they called them. But essentially it was projects that would work in older and not very energy efficient homes to increase their efficiency by 25% or more. So all of those homes got insulation sprayed in the attic and 16 inches of insulation, where the ones that we worked on, at least, none of them had insulation. They were built in the 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
Typically a 1,000 to 1,200 square foot home kind of was average, but the electric bill could have been $300 or $400 a month. And so we
Mine's
did,
not even that.
yeah,
Whoa.
and so we did a lot of projects in the energy efficiency realm, but we wouldn't have gotten that grant had we not been working in the neighborhood for 2 years doing home repair projects, listening to the community, and helping start the Blythe Oldfield Neighborhood Association, Community Association. So on the heels of that grant, the TVA grant, we got a $500,000 grant to start purchasing homes, and we felt like you can't address the need over there because the proportion of owner rental is so out of kilter.
Yes.
It's about 30% homeowner and 70% rental. So we want to see that trend back towards even or even more homeowners. So this grant allowed us to buy 5 properties and renovate 4. We built 1 new from the ground up, and sell to first-time home buyers
And that is so exciting.
or public servants. So
Right.
we want to encourage first-time home buyers, resident renters to own homes, but also public servants, because when you think about the safety of a street, when you have a school teacher or a police officer or a firefighter living on a street, it brings about stability.
Yes,
it brings
it
about
does.
people who care and are invested in their place. So
Well, homeowners do
yeah.
that. I mean, rather than renters, because if they're renting,
some do,
Yeah,
but
but-
some don't.
Yeah.
And you can't ever, yeah. So that's an aspect of that grant. But then we also did 6 commercial facade improvements,
and
which
I saw those on Facebook. And
Yeah,
I love them. 'Cause I want you to tell everybody what your Facebook page is
Okay.
so they can go check out what
for sure
you've been doing.
we were able to do 6 commercial facade improvements on businesses in the Blythe Oldfield corridor on Wildwood Avenue and East Inman. So they included Dos Aces, or what's now Alvarez Market. It's a Latino grocery store restaurant. It was one of the ones. We did Beatty's Hardware. We did Cameron's Restaurant. We did Spoonie's Restaurant. We did R&B Barbershop, and we did Advanced Screen Printing. So all 6 of those got significant upgrades to their facade, which
They really look good.
yeah, has really helped increase business and traffic there, and driving people back into those businesses. That's a big one. You know, in the midst of both of those grants, we were working with a variety of funders, donors, and partners to renovate what is now one of the nicest playgrounds in Cleveland.
Absolutely.
The Blythe Oldfield Playground Park. And what's interesting about that is there's more people per square mile in the southeastern quadrant of the city, Blythe Oldfield neighborhood. And there's more children density-wise per square mile. The homes have a smaller footprint, so there's less yard space.
Right.
But in all of Cleveland, before this park was designated, there were 8 city parks officially in the city, and all of them were in the other quadrants.
Yes.
So there was no city park there. And with the help of the city and a variety of donors and foundations, we were able to build this park. And now that park is one of the nicest in Cleveland, and it's sparked more momentum to where just south of there, about 1 mile south behind Blythe Bower Elementary, the city is doing its next big playground park project. They're doing a dog park back there, and
I think I read about that. Yeah.
yeah, it's
okay.
amazing.
Fantastic. So now you all have renovated 5 homes
Yes.
and built. And I know you had a couple of open houses. I didn't get there, and I do apologize.
That's okay.
'Cause I really wanted to get over there. But these that you renovated, were they for sale or for rent?
That-
And I know the one you built was for sale. So
Some of them were vacant, like in between tenants, and we bought them from landlords that had just owned the properties, and we have already bought the next 5 homes.
Oh, wow.
And are beginning to start renovations on those early stages. But let's say we did 5 last year. We want to do 8 this year. We want to increase our efficiency to where we're doing 8 this year.
Fantastic.
And I want to get to where we're doing 12 next year.
So how many years do you think it'll be before you've gone through all that and done everything?
Well, if we get to where we're doing 12 per year, then in 5 years we will have done 50 homes.
Wow.
And if we do 50 homes, transitioning them from rental to owner occupied,
Yes.
we will have increased the home ownership rate to where it's almost even with the rental rate. And we believe that if we're a catalyst for change, that the market and the momentum will just carry it on beyond what we've been able to accomplish.
And that's awesome. And I know I have a friend who has a home over in that area, and you all went in and helped her with some of the heating, and she has just been phenomenally amazed at what her utility bill went from to what it is now.
That's
and
great
so
to
that's
hear.
I think that's helping, because I had heard that a lot of those people are hourly employees, and some of them are elderly, retired, and those utility bills were just killing people.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
y'all have gone in and done that. And Dustin, tell everybody, because we have run out of time.
Okay.
And I knew we would, so I got to get you back on here. But you have graphics, you
Yes,
have your
yes.
logo. So tell everybody how to go and find you.
If the best way to find us is on our website, www.cityfieldscdc.com. And CDC, just so you know, doesn't stand for Center for Disease Control. It stands for Community Development Corporation.
Okay,
So cityfieldscdc.com. And on our website, you can read about us, learn about us, watch the videos about our work, and there's also links on the website to our Facebook, Instagram, and other pages.
And that's fantastic, because you all are just doing great things over there. I'm so happy that you came from Philadelphia down to East Tennessee, and that somehow or another
Yeah.
Matt Ryerson or somebody knew you to
Yep.
rope you into coming down here.
Yep.
And I know your family's established now. You have a little one, and
Yep,
who's
two.
not- who's oh, you had a second
Yeah,
one too.
that's
But
right.
Your little one that I was calling the little one is not so little anymore
Yeah.
because I saw him the other day,
Yeah.
and he's growing fast.
Uh-huh.
So we're glad to have you here in the community. And Dustin, thank you for the work you're doing because it's
Thank you.
very special.
I appreciate your support.
And folks, don't go away, but now you have the website, cityfieldscdc.com. I want you to go there and check this out because you won't believe what's happening over there. I mean, it is phenomenal. So don't go away. We're going to cut to our sponsors right now. Be sure you watch our commercials and support our sponsors because they pay our bills, and I'll be right back with another guest. So don't go away.